Hi, I'm Anita Lane, the creator of the Founder Chronicles, the podcast where we chronicle critical decisions that founders make along their startup journey. Come learn and grow with us. You ready? Let's go.
Thanks, Anita. Today on the Founder Chronicles podcast, we are unpacking the entrepreneurial journey of founder and CEO Melissa D. Hall.
Okay, sounds interesting.
For you, the listener, the person who wants to get smart on a topic without getting bogged down, we've taken a deep dive into a Q&A with Melissa.
Right.
Pulling out the essential moments and those crucial aha insights from how she scaled and ultimately sold a seven-figure Medicare insurance agency.
Wow, 7 figures. That's impressive. So what's the plan for today's deep dive?
Our mission here is pretty straightforward. We really want to understand the critical decisions Melissa made that propelled her to success. We want to give you actionable knowledge, whether you're just starting out, trying to grow, or even thinking about an exit strategy, down the line.
Makes sense. So where do we begin?
Well, one of the things that really jumps out is Melissa's early bias for action. We're talking way back in 2011 when she launched her first insurance agency, focusing on medical and dental plans. And she didn't just hire locally. She strategically brought on offshore support. And this wasn't just about getting extra hands. It was a deliberate choice to accelerate her growth right from the start.
Interesting. So she was thinking big from the beginning.
Exactly. Within that first year, her team grew to like 14 or 15 people spread across 2 offices. That early move to integrate offshore roles allowed her to significantly expand her operational capacity much faster than, if she had just relied on local talent.
Yeah, I see what you mean. That's smart. It makes you think, though, for early-stage entrepreneurs facing resource constraints, when and how can strategically leveraging remote or offshore teams provide that crucial early boost?
Right, that's the question.
Okay, so she's off to a good start, growing quickly, and then what happens?
Then comes a major turning point around 2014 with the arrival of the Affordable Care Act, the ACA.
Ah, yes, the ACA. That was a game changer for a lot of businesses, wasn't it?
Huge. And it really underscores how external forces can fundamentally reshape a business landscape. Agent commissions took a hit, which directly impacted the financial model of her existing agency.
Oof, I bet that was tough.
Yeah. And it led to what had to be an incredibly tough, but ultimately pivotal decision: shutting down the medical and dental insurance part of the business.
Wow.
Think about that. After all that initial rapid expansion, she had to dismantle a significant part of what she had built. That kind of decision requires a lot of clarity and courage.
It does. Not everyone can make a tough call like that. So what can we learn from this, do you think, about not being afraid to cut your losses when the market shifts?
Absolutely. It highlights the critical skill of adaptability in entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Being so wedded to your initial concept that you ignore significant market changes can be a fatal flaw. And, that's something all entrepreneurs need to keep in mind.
For sure. Staying flexible is so important. But this painful pivot, though, for Melissa, it cleared the path for her next and ultimately more successful venture, right?
It did. Which brings us to 2017 and the deeply personal inspiration behind her move into Medicare, her grandmother's experience. And this wasn't just about identifying a market opportunity, It was fueled by a genuine desire to solve a real problem she had witnessed firsthand.
That's powerful, turning a personal struggle into a business opportunity.
And it wasn't a minor course correction either. It was a full commitment to Medicare Advantage plans.
She went all in.
All in.
Right.
And the Q&A mentions this changed everything. And it's clear that when your business aligns with a personal mission, it can create a powerful and resilient foundation for growth. It makes you think,
About what?
how a personal experience can become the catalyst for a significant and successful business pivot. I think that's fascinating.
I agree. Okay, so now she's found her niche. She's passionate about it. What happens next?
Now, fast forward to 2020, and the timing couldn't have been more dramatic.
Oh, how so?
She opened a new office and hired a full-time agent. On the very day the COVID-19 lockdowns began, it's like you almost can't believe the resilience required to navigate that kind of immediate upheaval.
Oh, wow. Talk about bad timing. So what does she do?
Well, what's truly insightful is the response of her team. When given the choice to work or collect unemployment, they unanimously chose to keep working. This speaks volumes about the culture and trust Melissa had cultivated within her company.
That is amazing. What kind of environment, I wonder, fosters that level of commitment, especially in the face of such uncertainty?
Right. It's incredible. And they didn't just hunker down, they innovated. This rapid shift to phone consultations, digital enrollments, and even the surprising success of television commercials for lead generation. It's a masterclass in adapting under pressure.
So they pivoted and thrived, basically.
Exactly. And the growth, listen to this, from 2 to 7 employees in just 9 months during that period. It's remarkable.
That is some serious growth, especially during a pandemic. It really underscores the idea that necessity is the mother of invention, doesn't it?
It really does. Okay, so as things started to settle a bit, Melissa shifted her focus to what she calls smart scaling. This wasn't about chasing hypergrowth at all costs, but rather about streamlining their internal systems and ensuring they consistently delivered exceptional service to their clients.
So slow and steady wins the race.
In a way, yes. The emphasis on sustainable growth over explosive expansion is a crucial lesson here. Achieving over 1,000 clients with a lean team of just 5 by early 2023 really highlights the effectiveness of her lean team's strong process of philosophy. It's about building a solid, efficient foundation for long-term success, which is, what we all want, right?
Absolutely. What specific benefits do you think this approach brought, like in terms of profitability and customer satisfaction?
Well, I think it allowed her to maintain high-quality service while keeping costs manageable, which ultimately leads to higher profit margins and happier customers. It's a win-win situation, really.
Makes sense. All right, so she scaled successfully, built this solid business. What's next?
And then, in mid-2023, came the decision to sell. It wasn't like a sudden decision. It was more of an intuitive feeling that the timing was right. She had built a business that could operate effectively without her constant daily involvement, which is a key indicator of a truly sellable entity,
Yeah, I see what you mean. So it was less about needing to sell and more about recognizing the right time to move on.
Precisely. The business boasted recurring revenue, a loyal client base, and well-defined, efficient systems. It was a highly attractive acquisition target. And her perspective on selling as leveling up rather than giving up offers a powerful and positive way to frame this kind of significant milestone. I mean, a lot of founders struggle with that decision, right?
They do. I think that's such an important point. Selling doesn't negate the impact you've made. In fact, it can often create new opportunities and a different kind of impact, like, starting a new venture or investing in other businesses.
Totally. And when you consider what made her agency so appealing to buyers, beyond just the financial metrics, she emphasizes the clean state of her business records and the high client retention rates.
So she ran a tight ship. Those are critical indicators for any potential buyer. A clean book of business suggests good operational management and reduces the risk of unforeseen issues. And high retention rates, of course, signal strong customer satisfaction and a stable future revenue stream, right?
Exactly. These factors significantly increase the value and attractiveness of a business. And, thinking back to her early adoption of offshore hiring, it's now even clearer how strategic that decision was. It wasn't just about saving on labor costs. It was about freeing up her bandwidth and resources to concentrate on those higher-level activities that drive growth and strategic direction.
So she was delegating effectively from the very beginning.
Exactly. By delegating those initial outbound communications, the client onboarding process, and ongoing follow-ups to her offshore team, Melissa could focus on refining her core service offering, building those key relationships, and developing her overall business strategy. It's a powerful example of leveraging resources effectively to maximize founder impact.
It really is. And she touches on another really important and often unspoken aspect: the potential stigma, sometimes associated with women selling their businesses, the outdated idea that they should hold on to them indefinitely just because they're women.
Oh, for sure. And her perspective on that is incredibly important. Knowing when to exit is a smart strategic business decision for anyone, regardless of gender. Selling doesn't negate the impact you've made. In fact, as she points out, it can often create new opportunities and a different kind of impact. It challenges that notion that a founder's worth is tied solely to the continuous operation of their initial venture.
Totally. It's about recognizing your goals and making choices that align with them.
Yes. And even the process of selling itself wasn't without its challenges.
Oh, really? What happened?
Well, navigating those intricate details of the legal documents led to some delays, which really highlights the absolute necessity of having strong legal counsel and conducting thorough due diligence.
Yeah, the legal stuff can be a real headache.
It can. And that's a crucial takeaway for anyone contemplating a sale. Don't underestimate the complexities of the legal agreements. Taking the time to fully understand the terms and seeking expert legal advice can prevent significant headaches and potential pitfalls down the line. And, as Melissa advises, never feel rushed or pressured during this critical stage.
Good advice. Take your time and make sure everything is right.
Exactly. Finally, Melissa emphasizes the significant role her personal brand played in her success.
Her personal brand.
Yeah, her background in acting and hosting wasn't just a past life. It was a valuable asset that helped build trust and credibility.
Interesting. So how did that play into her business?
Well, her ability to communicate effectively, whether through speaking engagements, educational content, or being comfortable on camera, allowed her to connect with clients, partners, and the broader industry on a deeper level. In today's world, that strong personal brand can be a significant differentiator and a powerful driver of business growth and trust.
I can see that. It's all about building relationships and establishing yourself as an authority.
Absolutely. So for you, the listener, as you reflect on Melissa's journey, several key decisions stand out.
Okay, let's hear them.
Starting with a clear vision of your end goals, even if they seem distant. Meticulously documenting your systems and streamlining your processes for efficiency. Building a strong, independent brand. Remaining adaptable and willing to pivot when the market demands it. And reframing the concept of selling as potential evolution as a sign of success.
It's inspiring to hear stories like Melissa's, It shows that success is possible with the right mix of vision, strategy, and resilience.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, thank you for joining us.
It's been a pleasure diving into Melissa's story.
We turn it back over to you, Anita.
That was great. Thank you for joining us today. And I hope you gleaned an insight or two from this deep dive. Founder Chronicles is original content written by the Sensei Communications team and narrated by AI. If you have a story that you'd like chronicled on our podcast, let us know. Send an email to mystory@founderchroniclespodcast.com. Until next time.